You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
This is how I would do it. Just go, click. All right, guys, you guys suck. I'm out here.
And on that note, welcome to this week's edition of the Couch Potatoes. Part 2. I'm Alex.
This is Cap.
Morrison.
You gotta say your name, man. He looked at me with doing his Italian hand.
They all know who I am.
Yeah. Oh, and they don't know who I am by this point. I still have to introduce myself. Come on.
I've been on this show longer than him.
What's your name, Morrison?
Yes, and by this point, we're picking back up on The Boys Season 3, Episode 5. Let's go ahead and run right on into it. Frenchie admits Kimiko to the hospital because last time we left them, Kimiko is now without her powers because of the run-in with Soldier Boy, because his blast of energy...
His blast of PTSD.
Yes, his PTSD blast has the ability...
Soldier Boy, I choose you. Use 1,000-yard stare. Use 1,000-yard stare. Super effective.
But yeah, finds out that in smaller doses, doesn't necessarily kill a suit, but can wipe its power. So that's where they find out that's oh, this is the weapon they were talking about that could kill fucking Homelander.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's the Predator line.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, it could die.
Yeah.
She and Frenchie bond over a shared kiss, but Frenchie is later kidnapped by Nina, that fucking bitch. I really
sexy Russian boss.
I really started to dislike Nina in this season.
I liked her because she was just, you could tell she's like, I asked you to do one thing, you did it, and then you were just supposed to sneak in, grab a body, and leave, but you killed like a platoon of soldiers.
Yeah.
You fuck.
And also shit like, I could have you anally penetrate me and you would be scarred for life.
Yes, that
kind of shit.
She's a sex positive enemy.
Yeah.
And I get that, but at the same time, it's she should know also of all people how much Frenchie's just ready to get out of this shit, and she keeps dragging him back in.
She's like, oh no, you're not going anywhere. That kind of shit.
And that's why I started really not liking her, because I feel for Frenchie. He's not necessarily my favorite character in this whole series, but I feel for the dude. You know, of the few people, he has some redeeming qualities. Yeah. Ever since he found Kimiko and has been really sweet with her.
He has my favorite line on the last episode too.
Yeah. But it kind of plays into the whole story of the boys, except for Huey.
Yeah.
All their history is coming back to bite them in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
So MM is dealing with PTSD of Soldier Boy killing his family, Butcher still being Butcher, dealing with his past. Now we see Frenchie's part of it, and it's a good progression of the story because we see someone who used to be in charge of him, and that the fact that
he still have power over him.
Yeah, but he accepted the fact that he was basically an attack dog.
Yeah.
Who loved someone who beat him. And it's kind of a fucked up dynamic, but it's the same with Butcher.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, but Butcher's the same way. Butcher puts him in terrible situations that almost gets him killed all the time, and he's still there. He sticks around.
Like that loyal dog.
Yeah, I remember in season 1 where Homelander shows up in that van, and he's sitting in the van, and Homelander could have just crushed that shit, and he's just like, Frenchie, you got to stay in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's again, I just kind of feel for him. And then fucking, I guess, good tick for Butcher. Maeve gives Butcher another batch of the Tip V before drinking and having sex with him.
The song, what was it?
Yeah, that part is kind of weird because she's supposed to be made like a lesbian character.
Yeah. Well, she's a bisexual character overall because she was with Homelander at one point.
That's right. But I didn't know that was like a hard turner.
But Vought's getting to you, man. That's more or less Vought's pushing of making Maeve a lesbian character.
But what's funny is I
forgot about that.
It's the first person she talks to really that has any type of respect for her.
Yeah.
Homelander still respects her to a point. but
Butcher does not.
she's been sober, she's been doing good, and Butcher is that drug dealer. He's like, sit down and have a fucking drink, pussy. Like, he's that. And they start getting shit-faced together, and they're both have superpowers right now because he's still rocking that Temp B shit. Mm-hmm. And it becomes a codependent relationship. It's very toxic. It's a Sid and Nancy.
Toxic.
It's a Sid and Nancy type situation. Before Sid killed Nancy. In this case, Nancy killed Sid. But like, they just start fucking, and I'm just like, you're gonna bring this goddamn building down.
Yeah,
Right.
And I was like,
that's what I think every time I think about superhero sex. It's like this whole area is about to get fucking destroyed.
well, they did write a comic.
Like Stormfront and fucking Homelander too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just take it out a whole fucking city block.
Bam.
Yeah.
Oh God, but yeah. Shortly after, she's later captured by Noir and Homelander.
And Homelander has like some fucked up lines to her too.
Oh, God.
He's like, I can smell that butcher stink on you.
I
I'm just
know
like,
it.
God,
It's like, smell them all over you.
damn. Because like earlier in the season, Butcher actually sits down with Homelander for like a good minute, and he's just like, Homelander's basically just spilling out his fucking day.
Yeah.
And Butcher's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, but he's keeping his Butcher calm, and is just like,
But we can read it on his face. He's just like, the fuck is happening?
and I just love their casual talk of like Homelander just saying, let's do it, man. One last knockdown, drag out, just you and me. And you're just like, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That knockdown, drag out is going to be the shit.
It's supposed to be you and me.
That's it. That's it. I think that's what they're setting up for the next season anyway. But like, you're thinking like in your mind when you're watching it for the first time, and this is kind of the great thing about watching it per week.
Scorched earth. That's
Yeah.
what he was phrasing it as.
The great thing about watching this per week is it goes back to the way cable used to do television shows before streaming. Was you have a plot, you end the plot with a cliffhanger, and then we go into the next issue. You still have your main plot, but you can do other stuff. This is why you shouldn't watch like the X-Files, like binge watching it, because it just ruins the show. You're just like, oh, they're fucking idiots. Like if you watch it like that, they're both fucking idiots. But if you watch it like week by week, it's like, oh fuck, they're doing this, doing that.
Because it's like a Scooby-Doo episode where it's a different adventure every week
but
or
it's
whatever.
the same core characters.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this was made to be watched every Thursday or Friday
Well,
night.
not on like HBO content now too.
Yeah, and that's one kind of a fucked up thing about binge watching stuff is you're supposed to watch it one episode at a time, take a break. And it's kind of hard to do when you're just like, Stranger Things came out all once. Like,
And then Chris and I just dedicate like 6 hours to watching.
God.
I know. I rewatched or finished season 3 finally, and that took me like I did that in 2 days.
Yeah, like we sat and watched the first volume of season 4, and it's just like
In one batch.
There's another episode. What? Yeah, there is.
I
There's another episode.
I guess
Fuck. I guess we gotta sit down.
put that on.
It was like twice we thought we were gonna like wrap up for the night. We were like doing our stretches, like, damn, that was good. Kind of like sitting up. Wait, oh shit, we got one more. Oh, let's pause it. Let me just go pee real quick. I'll be right back.
What about those Totinos?
Sidebar: this is why Cobra Kai works on Netflix every New Year's Day.
Yes, because you can just watch the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, you ain't doing shit.
Yeah. Cobra Kai, do or die.
And at this point, we also see the two Ashleys. Ashley Bard is named Vought CEO after Edgar's departure, kind of failing upward. in
This
that
fucking
way.
this fucking
It's a shitheel
maniac.
This maniac
She
shitheel
is.
character that I love.
Interesting character development because she used to be the sympathetic character.
You know, she had empathy, and anything about anybody who's worked in the corporate world knows you can't have empathy.
Yeah.
You have to erode that shit.
She's doing
Chris
everything.
is really speaking from a personal
Oh,
place
I used to
right
be a very
now.
caring person. I used to sympathize with motherfuckers. Now it's just like, oh, that's just too fucking bad, ain't it?
You got to become a monster like these
Yeah.
fucking assholes.
Oh, you only lost the one puppy? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You still got another, or do you want me to take care of that too?
Yeah, like it's just like I got a trash bag and a brick. Like,
Oh God. Keep losing my place on this.
No, but this
Ashley's losing her mind and her hair.
Okay, yeah, because and then by this point, A-Train tells fellow suit Blue Hawk to issue a public apology for using excessive force against African Americans.
Oh yeah, the cop police.
But Blue Hawk
Or the
flies
cop
into
superhero.
flies into a violent rage during the event, wounding several bystanders, including A-Train's brother Nathan. Yeah, so
I just love the degeneration of that whole part. It's just like, look, look, I'm sorry. And he's reading off the script.
We'll kind of lead up to that a bit more. So in last episode, we kind of talked about A-Train trying to find himself and give back to his African-American
so
culture.
he's doing like a heritage run thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is very Disney, it's like a documentary.
It's like pandering, like, the episode really, expresses how pandering it is.
Well, he's also really pushing for this stuff and creating it his own, and kind of like, because Ashley at Vaught is not wanting to push this agenda.
No, because she has one goal.
Yeah.
Money.
And she's Edgar, but she's like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because she was just a production person. She was a producer.
Yep.
And the things she has seen. I love the blind. Remember the blind guy?
Yes.
The gymnastics. He's like, wait, I can't have a crippled on the 7. And then she's just like, but then she like when Homelander's in that downward spiral, he's literally laying naked, being a sad sack on a couch, and she walks in on him. She's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "What?" Yeah, and I'm just like, "This naked man can slaughter you." And like she's like trying to keep her cool with all these heroes or superpowered people, and she's trying to be like, "I'm fucking in charge."
No, but then she just flips.
Yeah, because she just starts dominance on fucking A-Train immediately. She's like, "We're gonna wait on that," and like. Her assistant is fucking hilarious.
Ashley too.
Electric
but
Boogaloo.
she's like, but she cuts him down too. It's like, you are still a fucking murderer, and we can't sell that shit.
Yeah. And
because he's trying to pull. He's like, oh, so you don't care about this, that, and the other. Yada yada yada. It's like you almost think he kind of has a point. Like it feels like he's like, oh shit.
Well, he's trying to redeem himself just a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of not really rooting for him, but kind of looking at the signs and being like, oh shit, okay, he might be trying a little bit. But then, like you said, Ashley just immediately cuts him down.
That's the moment where you're like, oh yeah, this is a
like
shit
when
heel.
you did this, and like when you did this and we covered it up. Oh, and when you did this, and when you killed this other motherfucker, and when you did this and that. Yeah, you want to talk to us about not doing anything for you? Step the fuck aside.
It's Rob Kardashian talking to OJ.
And you almost, and I forget, it might be in this episode, but Starlight is talking with her. And you see Starlight starting to break through to that empathy.
Oh, she's got her. 100%. And then she's just like, click.
You literally,
I'm in charge, you stupid bitch.
Yes, you literally see the switch go off in her head, just like Homelander. You'll see that little twitch in his eye every so often, and then that's when he gets really, he disassociates. That's his disassociation.
The Rick
click.
Dickens.
Yes.
The Rick Dickens.
Hi, I'm Homelander.
Yep.
It just goes blank.
Yes. So that's his disassociation tick.
It just cuts off.
Ashley got her tick, but it just turns into a raging maniac.
Well, in the turn of the conversation, she's like, we need to get Maeve out. And she's like, yeah. And then she realizes that would be the biggest mistake of her motherfucking life.
She was hook, line, and sinker. She's like, yeah, we do need to get her out because this is a problem.
Yep.
No, I'm in charge, bitch.
And I like how
Get the fuck out of my office. And if you try anything, I will bury you.
She chose the side at that moment.
And with the whole super cop situation,
super cop,
Nighthawk or whatever.
Yeah,
the protests they were doing protests against superheroes and stuff. And then Eric Kripke did the perfect thing. A fake Pepsi commercial. Yes. With A-Train.
I was dying over that because as soon as I saw him, like,
how are we going to stop racism and cop brutality?
Yes. as soon as
A-Train 1 or whatever the fuck it's called.
I felt it coming as soon as I saw they were doing a commercial. As soon as I knew it was a commercial, I was like, oh, I know what they're doing. And it's like, I was being quiet because Chris and I were watching it for the first time together. And I was being quiet. I was like, no way. And like, as I'm sitting here like geeking out over it, Chris just goes, are they doing the goddamn Pepsi commercial?
Yes.
And as soon as that happens,
it's one of the, it was making fun of one of the Jenner ones.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
And she's like, going across protest lines and hands a cop a Pepsi. I'm like, first of all, if you walked up to a cop during a protest with a can. They're going to take a butt of a rifle and put it across your pretty face.
Maybe a pellet gun.
Yeah, they're going to shoot you in the knee.
We said back.
Because handicapped people can't protest.
But yeah, it's the A-Train energy drink thing because, of course, got to go super fast. Got to go fast.
Got to go fast.
Got to go fast.
And you know what's kind of weird? They never show what happens to the other guy when he was doing. Remember the race he had? He won the race. There was the other super fast guy.
Yeah.
And it's like they never show, like, he didn't die. He raced A-Train. I'm just like,
yeah.
And it's kind of a plot hole where it's like we could have just replaced A-Train with the other super fast guy.
Oh, well, they might pull that with the next season.
I was hoping they were going to bring Cindy back for this one because she was just like in the hospital killing motherfuckers.
But yeah, and so I thought that was. I felt so tense with all him and his Blue Hawk scenes because Ashley pulls him into the room and she's like, "Well, here, you'll apologize," and he's like, "I'm sorry, I've been doing my job."
He's literally reading from a piece of paper.
Yeah, when it's just the two of them in a room.
Yeah, he's just like, sorry, I have to apologize, you people. I don't think it turns into that kind of shit.
Yeah. And he's like, no, this isn't right. It has to be a public apology. I'm not accepting this.
Yeah.
So then they pull everyone together in that little VW hall and...
Community center, he gets ramped the fuck up.
Yeah.
And he's reading off that, and it's like people are shouting, "That's fucking bullshit. You knew what you're doing. He did nothing wrong." He's like, well, he looked like the... And that right there fucking lost it. And then he's like... A-Train tries to stop it the best way he can without using super speed, without dying.
Yeah.
Or killing anybody.
Yeah, because he's just like, okay, I think we're done. He's like trying to extinguish the situation. He realizes this was a bad call.
And
you
then
don't put this guy in front of a camera.
And then old boy starts throwing motherfuckers around, and then he says it, "Soup lives matter." And I'm just like,
Yes,
oh,
right.
God damn it.
There we go. It's like, shit.
But yeah, through all that, A-Train's brother Nathan winds up getting hurt.
Gets paralyzed from the waist down.
Yep. So it kind of plays forward into the next episode where all of a sudden now a loved one of his has now been affected for the first time. No one around A-Train during these first two seasons has truly been affected by anything.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. They do a cool little panel, screen shift. And so he's in the hospital with his brother doing this. And 2 floors up, Kimiko and Frenchie are upstairs watching fucking Wizard of Oz or some shit.
Right.
And she
I think the editing on this series has been fantastic.
Yeah, and it creates like that small world vibe a little bit. It kind of takes the whole, this is the United States under Vought or whatever, and let's just shrink it down real quick. And
it's also pretty believable because at the same time, A-Train really doesn't have any history with Kimiko or Frenchie. I don't think they've really crossed paths, have they?
So the only people like A-Train has crossed paths with was
Huey
and Starlight.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to know the other people that well.
He probably knows a Butcher.
Well, yeah, everyone is going to know who Butcher. Every superhero in the fucking world better know who the fuck
honestly,
he is.
Honestly, I feel like if A-Train passed Frenchie or Kimiko in the hallway, he might do a double take, but just kind of like still keep walking. Like still just be like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is just really interesting. That again, they could share a building and it really not be an issue, but still be believable.
Yeah. So another thing that happens in this episode is during this whole like back and forth between plots, Soldier Boy is able to cargo plane his ass over back to the United States.
Yeah.
Because everybody forgets, he is a Captain America-esque character, so he knows things about getting where he needs to be, doing what it takes. A spy, espionage type character.
Yeah.
So he's not dumb. He's cruel.
Yeah, he is crafty.
He is crafty. Like a fox.
I think that might be the word for it. Crafty.
Just a different level of evil, too.
Yeah, like crafty, like a wolf with rabies. Right. But no, he gets back to the United States, and we see him kind of wandering around a little bit. And
because he still doesn't realize he's in the future yet.
Yes, because while he's walking through the streets of New York, he sees a gay couple, which 1980s, not great.
No.
He sees advertisements for the 7. He's seeing, just some different things. He saw like a guy carrying a baby.
Yeah.
And he thought that was like the pussiest thing he's ever seen. And he kind of goes back to that old macho way of thinking that
Exactly.
that Predator era.
His mind's still in the 80s, and
Well, it's like none of that. His mind is back in the 40s,
Well, yeah.
and 50s. Like,
Right.
there are certain
That kinda
aspects,
old school.
There's a certain aspect of that culture that does not fly anymore.
No.
And it's like, why the fuck would the husband hold a baby? Mm-hmm. Other than for the wife
So that's
to
some
take a
pussy-
cigarette break.
so it's not what a man does. There's a lot of that shit.
Yeah, and he has some very old school
You play
conservative
video games.
yeah, but he has like very old school conservative views, but they're still, some of those are still valid. It's like, you want to be tough, you want to be able to take care of yourself,
Defend your family.
defend your family.
Meanwhile, we learn a lot of that is projection.
Yeah, a lot of it is projection. But he's going down the street and he's trying to go back to a place he knows, and
Over the radio.
there's a makeshift van, and it's playing some Russian music, because it would be playing Russian music because there would be like a little Russia or a little Poland or something like that. And the PTSD sets in.
It's a specific song, because
Yeah.
it was a song that like
From a Russian lab where he had got experimented on,
thank
right?
You. That was the part that was getting
And
foggy.
like, while that's going on, while he's walking, MM is looking at the video footage, because they're still trying to get everyone back where they need to be. And they are pulling some hardcore experiments on Soldier. They're burning him with welding torches. They're shooting him in the mouth with a full AK. It's nothing. It's not nothing doing anything to him, and they just keep dousing him with fucking nerve agents.
This is what happens to him after he gets sold out by his crew too, right?
Yeah. So he's going back to where he's trying to find his old crew, because we don't know
yet.
All we know is what Butcher was told, that he was sold out. So obviously Soldier Boy would know, but we're not really sure why he wants to go visit these people. Because we think it was just Black Noir or Stan or something like that.
Right.
Or Rigger.
But yeah, he hears that song blasting over the radio, and that PTSD kicks in, and boom!
Yeah, so
levels of
blows up
fucking
the-
block.
So he ramps up, which is kind of cool. He kind of reminds me of like a Havoc, a little bit. So he does it, and it's a new power for him, which is kind of insane, because they experimented him enough to do that to him. So it seems like an evolution of a superpower, something he didn't know he had, which makes him a human hand grenade.
Yeah.
Which is
Reusable.
reusable. Yeah. So it is pretty neat that what he's able to do, kind of like a Cyclops' character if you just take his glasses off, which is a weird fucking trope.
Yeah. But it kind of has that Homelander, that asshole shitheel thing that's pretty similar to Homelander too, where of that time period, where he's like just a monster to everybody.
Yeah, well, it's also like accidental too, which is kind of the whole thing about superheroes when they're accidents.
Right.
It's like, oh fuck, he didn't mean to do it, but it happened and killed a bunch of people. Because it's like a bomb went off in the middle of the town.
Right.
Then after that, MM, Huey, and Butch, you learn from former Vought executive The Legend that Soldier Boy is actually going after the Crimson Countess before finding and incapacitating her first.
The Legend.
Yes,
the
the
legend.
legend.
It's Dr. Owens from Stranger Things, and this guy is fucking hilarious.
This is the Scandinavian guy, right?
No, this is the producer.
Basically the porno looking
Yeah, the movie producer
I'm
guy.
talking about the actor that plays him.
Oh no, it's the guy from Mad About You.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of somebody different. Yeah.
Something.
But yeah, he's in Stranger Things also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays Owens, but he is kind of like a slapstick character a little bit, because he's talking about the nasty shit.
Yeah,
he talked about a weird Devil's Three-Way with Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
it's fucking disgusting.
Which is also like a true rumor. Well, not a true rumor, but like a rumor nonetheless.
like a Hollywood rumor.
Yeah.
But like, I love how he's just talking about this shit, and he's looking at Huey, and Huey's like, I have no idea who these people are.
But yeah, they find out about him going after Crimson Countess through there, so they meet up with her first, fucking get her tied up and shit, and basically they get up to Soldier Boy and they're like, "Look, hi, we've got what you want in there."
But we found out Crimson Countess is also a cam girl.
Yeah. And it
With
cuts to Seth Rogen watching and getting his Vaseline ready and shit.
Oh god, that was so fucking funny. He's like, "Oh my god, what?" And he busts after she gets attacked.
This is what was written in the script, that Seth was just like, I'll be in this scene. I choose this one.
I want to be that guy.
Yeah, I'll be that guy.
And what's funny is like, this is the same actress from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Adrian, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is like the pull of these people and them having to do these scenes, and you can imagine just the conversation. She's like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. I was in a stupid fucking drama, I'll do this.
And so Soldier Boy winds up killing her as revenge for giving him up to the Russians. Then Butcher decides to partner with him and Huey and goes along despite Annie's protests.
Yeah, so they do the fight, like they jump on her, and Butcher's like, don't let her get her fucking hands together, and they duct tape her hands to the chair.
Yeah.
And they're all getting ready to meet Soldier Boy, and he drugs MM.
Yep.
Annie shows up, which I thought was kind of funny, because her and Huey kind of just walk away while MM's being drugged.
Right.
And I like his little fucking like show of powers, and he's always naked.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God damn it, figure something out, man. Figure like a skin tight suit that you could wear or something, like some weird Fantastic Four fucking suit.
But no, this is kind of like the moment too where like Huey's letting his revenge get the better of him too.
Yeah, and well, it makes him feel powerful now. He's like he's slowly seeing like, hey, with not just determination but with some powers, I can
comes great responsibility.
Well, not on the boys. There's no responsibility with these powers. It's like handing a handgun to a toddler.
No, with him, it's a jealousy. With him, it's the jealousy thing because he feels like the helpless boyfriend with his superhero girlfriend.
And I like this. He zaps his ass one time later on, but so. They're having the conversation, Soldier Boy with Crimson Countess, and he said he loved her, and she's like, I fucking hated you, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he just destroys her down to the fucking atom, and that's where we realize, oh, it's a concentrated thing.
Yeah.
So if it goes full power, gone, all fucking like down to the skeleton, you're destroyed. Superpowers ain't going to help you. And
they're like, a Superboy's kind of a fucking prick too. So
yeah, but yeah, like you said, so Butcher and Soldier Boy start walking. They have MM. And Huey kind of makes the turn. He's like, look, I have to do this. And
she's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, it's like, no, the fuck
He's
you
like,
don't.
well, I want to save you for once.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it kind of fucks up their little dynamic relationship-wise throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, because season 1, he was like, I actually like the fact that you're like this. I don't have to worry about you. I get to just be me. And now he's completely flipped it around. I worry about you all the time. I want to protect you. I want to be the strong one.
Yeah, they make him the very jealous fucking boyfriend in this season for sure.
But it is kind of a natural progression with all the bullshit they've gone through, though. It's like, he should be listening to Starlight, yes, but that also wouldn't make for a good, captivating show either.
Yeah, so it kind of ended on a high note, I thought, because it kind of sets us up. Okay, so now the team's divided.
Right.
One superhero is missing. Homelander has a stacked group.
And not only has Butcher sold out Kimiko, but he also drugged fucking MM.
Yeah. And going a little bit earlier in that episode, there was the whole TV interview, which I fucking loved. And he's like, what kind of fucking question is that? And you're just like, you can see that blonde woman like, oh my God.
Yeah, she's starting to quake a little.
Yeah, and it's like, Ashley's like, I could fuck you in the mouth. Like, it's just like she's saying all this fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot she's still a monster.
Right. And then the
greatest promos for this was fucking hilarious because I'd watched the interviews for this. And so it was the guy that plays the Deep, Jensen Ackles, the guy that plays Soldier Boy, and the guy that plays Homelander, and they talked about the cast and crew filming all this, and he's like, after filming certain scenes, some of us had to walk out.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays the Deep, he's like, yeah, that was a little odd. And it wasn't until after they finished season 2 that how they filmed the scene with the octopus. He actually had to wear a prosthetic around his waist.
Meanwhile, his ass is just hanging out.
But it moved. And he's like, it was the worst feeling.
Oh, no.
Because it went like a slot. He said he basically did this motion.
Oh.
Which is like a wave.
Wavy, just kind of hand motion.
And he's like, it's so fucking embarrassing. Because he had to use it again.
and it's on Amazon somewhere.
It's on Amazon somewhere. But it's all the behind the scenes stuff. And you can still do you guys have PTSD for fucking doing this episode? Because you got Soldier Boy, he's like, God damn.
Yeah. You want me to do what?
Yeah, what the fuck?
But yes, the episode to end all episodes. Episode 6,
Hero-gasm.
Hero-gasm.
So this is a little different.
I will say, Chris, you need to be hired by some company for their hype man.
Oh, yeah.
Because you hyped this episode up so hard. Man, if what they're going to be doing, if what I heard is true, if they're going to be doing what I think they're going to be doing, dude. This next episode, I don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to do in this next episode. You would not shut up about this episode for 4 days straight.
So when I first read the comics,
I was about to ask how graphic is the comic.
So the comic is very.
Here we go.
The comic is pretty graphic. It's basically a hentai, but. There's a character in it called Love Sausage. We've met Love Sausage before. He was in the hospital, and his power is a big dick that grows.
Yeah.
He's like a Mr. Fantastic with his dick, but he's this giant, large Russian man. And that was what MM said during the interview. He's like, if you could describe episode 7, he just said Love Sausage.
Yeah, Love Sausage.
So, in the pretense of the comic, Hero-gasm is an annual event where all heroes just dip and go to Malibu
And just go crazy.
and just they hire prostitutes and courtesans and stuff like that.
It's like a conspiracy theorist idea.
It's Illuminati.
It's Bohemian
suck back
Grove.
blow. Like it's an Illuminati suck fuck. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I love about the show. All the conspiracies
Yes.
that are intertwined in it.
So in the comics, Maeve takes Starlight there and tries to explain to her, like, hey, there's certain stuff that goes on here, blah, blah, blah. The vice president is there. And what happened during the last Hero-gasm in the comics is we all met up in late summer. And because all the heroes were gone, 9/11 happened.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
And that's the crux of the whole thing of Hero-gasm.
no.
It's like 9/11 happened the last time you all got together for a suck and fuck.
Oh god!
And a conspiracy is being formed of all the heroes. Like, some of the heroes there are just there to fuck. And like, you see like all this, like there's like a She-Hulk version fucking this dude.
You see midget dude again.
Yeah,
he didn't learn his lesson.
You see this guy who's got like a beast boy, turns into a dog. It's disgusting.
I was gonna say, then it becomes. Doesn't even say at the beginning of the fucking episode. It just has like a disclaimer.
Yes, so
which is great.
So with Hero-gasm, it's the plot to kill the president.
Yeah,
That's all it is. But it's the real world events too that are fucking hilarious. He's like, oh yeah, we were supposed to be there for 9/11. And it's like, oh god damn. And it's like we kind of abandoned our post, and Homelander's like, well, that's just too fucking bad, ain't it? And
but by the time the episode rolls around, it was still pretty good. But
go to what he said. The beginning of the episode is a comically long disclaimer.
Yeah.
There
and
are
not long as in a lot of words.
long as it stayed on the screen. Because
Yeah.
I thought I accidentally pressed pause.
Right. It was just a simple sentence or two saying, like, look, the depictions of this fictional show are just that.
Are a little
fiction.
graphic.
Yeah, it's a little graphic, but no human, animal. Or extraterrestrial was harmed or fucked during the making of this series. ... We promise. In fact, it was very expensive technology to make this happen.
I just like how it says at the beginning, where it's like, this is probably not appropriate for some viewers, or quite frankly, anybody.
Yeah.
And it was banned immediately in 4 countries before its airing. Some of our Arab allies did not like that. They got rid of that shit very quickly. But going into it, it's MM and Starlight team up, which is a cool little team up.
Yeah.
Because, like, look, we need to stop Soldier Boy.
Well, actually, real quick, the very first thing that happens is the Deep and Homelander uncovers security footage of Soldier Boy.
Yeah, after fucking Deep fires everybody, becomes like the fucking...
Yeah, so now Homelander knows what's up. He's like, oh, shit.
It's real.
He's back. It's real. Like,
he's scared.
Yeah, because like you said about the news report, they are asking, what about the threats that, Soldier Boy is back? He's like, it's fake. It's fake. Quit saying it. It's fake. It's fake. Shut up.
He kind of turns into one of those anti-alarmists. He's like,
COVID isn't real.
yeah, like he's like, no, go out. It's safe to go out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And yeah, in an extent, it is if you're not in the fucking city. Like,
Yeah.
because all the fucking monsters live in the city.
But we talk about that moment where you see the shit heel, get scared, and
Yes.
that was a turning point and a good moment too.
Well, it's the first real threat
Right.
they have. Because, like, with Stan Edgar's like big plan of, this is set in 2019, 2020. There's no real threats on that level. We saw some in the first season, but they get their head lasered off immediately. Like it's a quick little and the idea of the 7 is kind of a fallacy anyway. Why do we need a Justice League? There's no Legion of Doom. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no group of anti-heroes just killing everyone, blowing up cities or shit like that. So it kind of, you have to falsify narrative, and I love Starlight's version. It's like, hey, we just need to really find this guy and take him down. And he's like, bitch, this ain't real. Like, shut the fuck up.
But yeah, so at that, looking over their looking over their shoulders was Black Noir.
Yes.
He notices that.
And the coolest slapstick comedy bit in the whole fucking...
Yes.
He just casually gets the fuck up.
Yep. Walks
to
out.
the elevator. There's a woman standing there.
A lovely secretary type. She probably works in accounting.
Yeah, she probably just did some like annual reportings of and he
has seen nothing, knows nothing. She's probably one of those blissfully ignorant types.
she's probably one of those people who kind of skip the hero floor, like
Yeah,
Right.
Close the door. Close the door.
But he gets in there and he casually rips out a knife.
Yeah.
And digs a deep, like straight to the bone
Huge gash.
And takes out his
A tracker.
a tracker that Transparent had, and that's how Transparent died.
Right.
But and just
Hands it to her.
and she's like, "Oh my god!"
Without saying, it's like she at first just grabs it, kind of looks at him, and she even says like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
So
what the fuck else you gonna say to him? Bro.
Yeah, and then he just looks at her. Nods.
you. And walks out.
Like his comical, you're welcome, like that, and just walks out, and you just see her like just slowly like lose it in the face as the door shuts on her.
That was the credits. That was like the beginning credits.
Yeah. But yeah, so immediately after that, Nina kidnaps Kimiko and Frenchie's former partner Sherry, and forces him to choose who to execute.
This is a fucked up scene. Like,
Yeah, this is the moment I was talking about. That I started I don't like Nina. I really don't. I do not like her as a character.
Yeah, she's not like a person. She's a villain.
It's the villain, but like a very manipulative, conniving villain too.
But she gives like a brief history of that, and you're thinking, God damn, Frenchie's got some resolve. Like just the shit he takes. Because they described the scene where his dad had broken a bottle and told him to kneel in it until he got home, but the dad had been gone for days.
Yeah.
And he never got up. And I'm just like, fucking Christ.
Yeah.
That's bad as Butcher's dad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sure I can imagine being an actor reading the script and just going like, God, all right.
This is me. Fuck. Okay.
all of them in Herogasm reading the fucking script. They probably had to pick up smoking afterwards. But so Kimiko is still kind of injured. But I love that, during the tipping point of him having to choose, Kimiko just fucking lets loose. Like she still has powers. But that's when you realize Kimiko is still a killer.
Yeah.
She can be superpowered or not, but she's still a fucking killer. And
She's still fast. She's still quick.
And like a fucking rabid dog starts putting these motherfuckers down. And I like how Sherry gets up.
Yeah.
And like headbutts fucking Nina in the chest.
Right. Yes.
And because you see Nina like, what the fuck is going? You fucking idiots!
Shoot them.
Yeah. And then she escapes, which is kind of great because it'll pick up later on.
Yeah. As much as I don't like her as a character, it's like I don't.
We need
necessarily.
we
need her.
We need more human. villains.
So she can keep being the Joker.
But Kimiko,
more like stands or whatever.
Kimiko kills that guy, but she doesn't stop. She keeps stabbing and stabbing and stabbing, and
Until he doesn't have a face.
Yeah, he doesn't have a face or chest.
Yeah,
and like, God damn. And then I don't really remember what happens to Shiri except for her getting her head busted against a drum.
Yeah,
and I'm guessing she's just knocked out.
Yeah, they don't see what happens to her.
She just kind of gets away.
Yeah, you don't see what happens to Shiri because she doesn't get back up.
Yeah,
you assume they took her somewhere to be safe.
I feel like if Shiri had passed away, we would have had a moment with Frenchie on that one. That's still an interesting kind of dynamic that I'm surprised Kimiko's kind of okay with. for the fact that she knows Frenchie probably still has that flame for Cherie in his heart.
I don't think that bothers her because he's always with her.
Yeah,
I think it's just like someone because Frenchie, the whole part of him is he's a caring guy. He does violent shit. It makes kick-ass drugs,
but is loyal
like a dog.
Yeah,
and guess what? He's a fucking dog.
Yeah, so I guess she kind of expects. She's like, yeah, I guess he would still have that small flame, but as long as he doesn't leave me for her, whatever.
But I don't think they don't write her like that anyway. Like she's got her own problems she's dealing with. I don't think the aspect of a relationship's bothering the fuck out of her.
No.
Plus, we get a musical with her, so that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I thought that was cool because there was that moment in the hospital. You thought she was about to speak. Yeah. Like almost like her powers were connected to her being mute, and it was just like, oh shit, because it's like there was one moment, and I didn't call it when it happened because I was like, I may have just been hearing it, or maybe she's done this before, and I'm just kind of noticing it. But there was a time when she was in the hospital and she went, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, and you heard like that, like her little bit of exclamation, and I'm like, I don't think we've ever heard that. And then she like started to do it again, and I'm like, oh shit, and then it's just like, oh no, it's just in her mind. But yeah, we get like this whole like shitty bang bang type dance number,
like the Scrubs musical.
So like the Scrubs musical.
Yeah, and just with that, it kind of clears out the whole plot for them. It kind of like, all right, Nina's on the run now.
Yeah,
and
Nina on the run.
Yeah. And
I was just gonna let that one ride.
Clearly, just leave me in the dark there. Cool, whatever, guys, whatever.
But next we go to Newman. Meets up with Starlight.
I'm like, let's talk about everything other than the hero gasm scenes, guys.
We'll get there.
No, we're not there yet.
We'll get to it.
But we got to get to it.
We got a solid hour and a half.
But yeah, he privately reveals his powers to Annie and proposes an alliance, but Annie declines. So at that point, Newman, she's kind of annoyed
they
because
have their
we
little
can't
girls
have,
talk.
Yeah, they can't have their little girl uniting.
She shows that she can control her power to an extent. She pops a vessel in her nose.
Yeah, because after Annie's like, no, fuck you, I'm not doing all this,
Yeah,
and you were the one that popped heads. No, fuck you.
Yeah, she's like, you can pop my head, I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah,
and she's like, oh, honey, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah, no, we need you. I'm not going to do that. But again, I like that small thing because I was confused when it happened, but you called it for me. I was just like, why did she get a bloody nose randomly? You're like, oh, she popped up a vessel just to show she can do it.
Yeah, she can concentrate it just enough.
She's like, you won't see it coming.
I know. But then after I've kind of connected the dots, I was like, ooh, that's fucking cold. I like that.
She's the most dangerous one out of all of them.
No shit.
No, so there's a two-pronged part for this. MM is looking for the TNT twins.
Yeah.
And Butcher already knows where they're at. So it's a race against time to who gets there first. So MM finds out, but he says Butcher's got connections. He'll figure it out. Meanwhile, Huey is just hanging out with Soldier Boy.
Right?
And it's so fucking awkward. And they make a Szechuan sauce reference from McDonald's. I don't know if you caught that.
Yes, I did.
He's smoking weed, drinking Jack Daniels, because that's all he knows. And
doing bennies.
Yeah, doing bennies. And Huey is just sitting there with them. And he's crushing pills, but he brings some basically chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
But he's like, where's the chink sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was sweet and sour sauce.
No, so he's like, no, Huey's like, no, they got rid of that. He's like, that's fucking bullshit. He's like, well, there was a reason because they called it chink sauce. You fuck.
But no, I thought that was a call on sweet and sour sauce.
There's a call on Szechuan sauce, which is the whole like
Szechuan.
You talking about the Rick and Morty shit?
Yeah, the Mulan sauce.
And that was like the 90s.
Like everyone loved for like a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That was the 90s. That's why I thought Soldier Boy wouldn't even know about that.
Yeah, no, they're in their world like. It's a nostalgia thing. It's like, why the fuck are you guys drinking light beer?
You pussies.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody from the past was like, it's like, why is everyone drinking this light shit?
It's like it's like Undertaker talking about current wrestlers.
Yeah, who are these pussies?
Yeah, they play video games.
Did he go? He's supposed to go into a coma.
Yeah,
but like, Butcher walks in, throws him his bottle of bennies.
Yeah,
and I just like Soldier Boy just takes out his knife and goes. It just starts crushing the motherfuckers up. He's like, and Butcher's like, oh, we found the TNT twins. Let's go.
Just like that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's covered in blood. He goes like, where'd that come from? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. He beat the information out of somebody.
Right.
And so they decide to shoot up on their way there.
Like Eye of the Tiger or some shit. I forget what it was.
But
let's do our heroin, guys.
so they're in Montpelier, and I thought it was Montpelier, Virginia, where Thomas Jefferson lived. It's Montpelier, Vermont. It's nicer. It's nicer. I was like, what a time to have a fuck fest.
I was going to say.
Yeah, so that's where you find out that's where the TNT twins live, is at the Super Orgy Herogasm.
Yes, so
they host it.
They host it, and they also have a side business of filming people.
Right.
And
Or at least
you
the guy
realize,
does.
Yeah, you realize the TNT twins aren't really the TNT twins anymore. Their powers are kind of shit. They haven't done the whole handhold thing in like years.
They're out of practice.
Yeah, but this conversation where Annie and MM show up to the door, and who answers the door?
Love sausage.
He's like, oh my God, Starlight, I didn't realize you were going to be here. And he looks at MM. He's like, do I know you? Because MM's the one that burned his dick in the hospital. And he's like, nah, motherfucker. And it's like, he sees that snake
the head coming
he's
up.
like, get that motherfucking thing. He's like, oh, what's your problem? This is Herogasm.
And it only gets so much worse for MM.
And I just love Annie's. He's like, is he not super powered? Like, Annie's like, no, he's with me. He's really good.
He does the sex to me very good.
Yeah, he loves eating vagina. Nom 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 nom. And I'm just like, her trying not to laugh during that fucking scene would have been hilarious. They could have just nom 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 nom.
That was the best part of all of it. Nom, nom, nom.
And like, I love like the foreshadowing of this, because the Deep gets there first, and they're like, oh fuck, the Deep's here, man. Thanks for coming. We didn't know you were coming. He's like, what the fuck is this? He's like, oh, and you hear like just people moaning and just like slamming it, and it's just like Herogasm. And like, like a twinkle in his eyes. He's like, I was sitting here to find the TNT twins, but I'm just going to participate now. Yeah, that shit
While
can
I'm
wait.
here.
While I'm here, why not? You know?
Yeah.
When in Rome.
I think I see an octopus.
Which he does.
Yeah. I'm just picturing, like, imagine if there wasn't one, there's just be a big math Billy Bass or some shit.
And also, let's think of the implication here. The TNT twins, I would assume blood relation?
Yeah, they're brother and sister, but they have a thing. Their power is if they touch each other, they can shoot energy,
Right.
like a battery.
Right. But they also apparently have the power of incest, as I was getting big time interrelation vibes
Yeah,
there.
you assume they fuck each other.
Yeah, they're like an old married couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting here going, I'm like, are they?
Yeah, it's weird. And
It's
they
kind
host
of implied.
and
This
they-
is a little weird.
and they host Herogasm together.
Yeah.
You know, they've done a few things.
And like you said, Chris, they kind of have their video side business, or at least the guy does, but she knows about it. It's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of invasion of privacy going on.
like, so some of the conversation-
What's implied with all these heroes from like day one is that they're all depraved fucking lunatics.
Yeah, they got
At everything.
They have to be. They did like a season 1. Mr. Fantastic, who was part of like some evangelical church, was a sex maniac. Yeah, he almost gets raped by him.
Right.
But yeah, so after numerous scenes of like ice dildos, ruining whores.
So Annie and MM are waiting through, and they make the joke. Oh my God, Frenchie's going to die that he missed this.
Yeah. They make that joke a couple times, and I was just like, oh yes.
And then one guy gets covered in Vaseline and just slaps MM on the back.
He's like, what the fuck? He's like, it's on my goddamn jacket. Like, he's just like,
what did you get on you? You put your, what is this?
Yeah, like the story.
See, this is why I knew it needed to be two parts. I knew we were going to have a lot to say about this episode.
So MM says they abuse these people to their effect.
Yeah.
And they're paid for it. And here in the comic Herogasm, yes, that happens, but some of them die.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of implied a few die in the process too.
Yeah, like some of them who are into it. But it is what I thought they kind of showed was it's all superheroes fucking each other too.
Right.
Which they show in Herogasm, because a lot of those heroes are fucking each other.
Mm-hmm.
So like a few, prostitutes here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to see Ant-Man, Midget Man again. That's the guy that zooms in. That's what it was. That's what it was. Microscopic Man jumps out of a vagina and then gets big and then slaps MM. And he's like, ew! That's what it was.
But there's also like there's a guy with like a like a Professor Xavier. He's like mind fucking these girls.
Right.
Like, they're walking past all these fucked up rooms and all this stuff, and you see like an Iceman character. Well, after the guy like smacks old MM on the back, he's like, I gotta find a bathroom. Well, he decides, which is the stupidest fucking thing, to open a double set of doors
to find a bathroom.
But whatever.
And you hear a voice on the other side going like, I'm about to shoot ropes in so many words.
And basically a scary movie.
Imagine a Gwar show.
Yeah.
A Gwar show.
Yeah. That's really what happened.
But it kind of reminded me like Scary Movie 1 and 2, just the
but just jizz.
And the next line, he's like, hey there, you sexy brown bear. Oh my God, that is fucking... Annie is like looking in awe, like, oh my God. Because it started like, there's a stain.
Right.
It's just a stain. We'll get that fixed. And just
it just gets so much worse.
And like, he is done. If his hate for superheroes was on the level of Butcher, it is now.
Motherfucker was just on Nickelodeon.
He's like, well, I can't unlive this now.
Yeah. So they're like, all right. He's like, look, I'm gonna go find a bathroom. Blah blah blah. And A-Train shows up.
Yeah.
A-Train shows up, and while
by this point, Huey has made his way in because he's transported. He's like, I know a way I can get in.
But before Huey shows up, Annie hears a familiar voice, and she goes into the aquarium room, and there's the Deep with an octopus
around his dick.
Around his dick. Hashtag deep.
Balls deep, if you will.
Yeah. And she takes off. I love the fact that she has a comically large phone.
Right? I noticed that too.
It's like a Galaxy Note 13 or some shit. And she just...
That's on Amazon somewhere.
Actually, no. I think she's just got the iPad mini in her pocket.
Yeah, she just carries that shit around. But like, she's like, oh my God. And he's like,
click.
Click, 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 click. She's like live streaming this shit.
They're like, Vault's going to love this.
And he's like, whoa, bitch, chill the fuck out. Like... And she's like, you need to get everyone out of here, because the whole thing is, hey, we're trying to beat Butcher and them from coming in here, because they know Homelander's going to be there, because the Deep's like, well, he's going to be here because I told him the TNT twins are going to be here. And that's when Annie kind of freaks out. She's like, okay, everyone here is going to die.
Yeah.
Period. Everyone in here is going to die.
And the Butcher gang has already showed up on the outside. And that's where they make the second joke of, oh, Frenchie would have loved this.
But I love like, oh my God, it's hero-gasm, and fucking Soldier Boy's like, man, I invented this shit. I built this shit in 52.
Yeah.
Like, I started this fucking thing. And I'm just like, yeah, you probably would have, you fuck.
Yeah.
But I love how they're trying to figure out how to like sneak their way in, and Huey's like,
let me just pop in, see if they're there.
Actually, I know exactly how. I'm going to transport in because I get fucking naked anyway. I'll blend right in. He's like, it just like, shows up, but then like you said, A-Train's there, and he runs into A-Train.
But before he does the A-Train, he's walking around naked, and there are some superheroes eyeing him. There was one woman who gets up with like red eyes, and he's like, oh shit, like
she's like, hi, and then one dude just like grabs him too.
One dude grabs him, and he like whispers something to him, and I love Huey's response. He's like, not right now. I'm letting it breathe. I just got fucked a while ago.
And the guy, he's just being so polite. He's like, not right now.
I'm trying to take a break.
And the guy's like, I feel you, bro.
Yeah. It was totally cool about it.
He's like, fucking hero-gasm, right?
Yeah. Fucking nuts, bro. And then A-Train meets up with Nighthawk in the kitchen. And he's like, dude, why are you still wearing clothes, basically?
Yeah.
Right. And like, he's trying to talk to this motherfucker. He's like, look, you know, my brother, something happened to my brother because of you, you piece of shit. We need to take this outside. He's like, look, man, we can do this any other fucking time. Whatever. He's like, I got a salad to toss. And it's like walks away. And walks away. That's a verbatim salad to toss. Walk away.
Right.
But the Huey and A-Train meetup was cool.
Yeah.
Because A-Train does something you wouldn't expect. He's like, he apologizes.
Well, what led into that, though, is because now Huey feels like he has the upper hand because he's got powers now.
And in that case, yeah, he would have killed A-Train.
And yeah, so he's finally got some nuts, literally and metaphorically, because he's got them out there for everyone to see. And he's like, no, you owe me. He's like, you don't owe me an apology. You killed my girlfriend. He's like, that's why I'm after you, motherfucker. He's like, do you not get it?
And like the conversation kind of devolves just for a second, and then A-Train just says, you know what, man, you're right. I am fucking sorry.
Yeah.
And for a second, you're not believing it, and you're like, whatever. But then it's like you see his eyes start welling up a little bit. He's like, I know what it's like to have someone you love hurt because of a superhero, someone else.
And then Huey takes it a little bit step further because he doesn't accept the apology.
He's kind of on the side of the audience that doesn't understand the character arc he's currently going through. He's like, no, fuck you. Punches him. And his reaction is like, what the fuck was that?
Because like if he
no, literally, what the fuck was that?
Because if he had tried to punch him before, his hand would break.
Yeah.
And he took a punch, and it's just like, oh, something's different about you, motherfucker.
Yeah, because he punches A-Train, and A-Train, he feels it, and he's like, what the fuck was that?
I'm surprised it didn't go into a scene of one of us. Well,
I like it because Homelander has that moment too. I think like Butcher punches him or something, and he's like, what the fuck was that? Like everyone has that moment of like, why are the mortals have powers now? Yeah. What the fuck is this?
But since A-Train and the Deep are there, that's when Annie figures out, oh shit, Homelander's gonna come over here.
So Annie tells A-Train to like dip, fuck off.
Yeah, he's just like, split it up, fucking boys. Y'all do this later. Everyone, just get the fuck out now, please.
Well, we see the TNT twins arguing over RCA cables, basically. And he's like, if it wasn't for me,
booty hole tapes.
Yeah, and booty. But we see Soldier Boy walking around, which I love that because it's a giant distraction of an orgy. No one would really notice him walking around because there's just like a sensory overload of everything going around.
Face full of pussy.
Yeah. And so they go in there, and before he starts talking to him, Butcher is in the house, and he sees MM, and he's wearing a vintage like 80s like sketch show the TNT twins had or something, right? Like TNT sketch show or some shit like that, parody hour or whatever. And it's
Power Hour.
Yeah, Power Hour. It's like this bright orange 70s fucking logo.
Right.
And it's like, because his clothes are ruined.
Yeah.
But him and Butcher have it out. And Butcher's like, look, this isn't happening, because Soldier Boy walks past. Mm-hmm. And he tosses a
nerve gas thing.
Yeah, a chemical, a sleeper chemical.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker picks up.
MM does, yeah.
Yeah, MM throws it, and Soldier Boy picks up and smokes that motherfucker.
Yeah, he's like, what were you expected to do with this?
Yeah, because it was like, that's not what they use. That's not what the Russians used at all. It wasn't any type of sleeping gas or tear agent. It was something worse.
Right.
Which, in the last episode, I have a problem with. So, him and Butcher have it out, which I thought was a very cathartic kind of fight, because Butcher's already on V. He's already amped. Okay, so Huey makes the dumbest decision of all time. He grabs Starlight and zips them back to the car.
Right.
Naked ass fuck.
And I'm sitting here going, you've shown us all these titties and asses and dicks. You're not going to give us any Starlight titties.
Contract, yeah.
I know, but I'm sitting here going, like, come on. Of all times to do it, give us some Starlight titties.
They didn't do it in Maeve either.
No.
But because
Starlight's
they had paid porn stars on that fucking set. So
I was going to say,
there was no reason to show that, because these people are built for it.
Right.
But I love the fight because he picks up a bat just thinking he can take down Butcher, and it's just not working, and it's just like kind of a fruitless thing. And he's like, look, man, I'm trying to tell you something. Look, after this is done, he's next.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make him any more redeemable, because he did drug MM and almost killed him. Meanwhile, we don't know what's happening with Kimiko and Frenchie. They're just like, let's just heal the fuck up and try to
they're chilling for a bit.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a beat.
But then all the while, basically, what's going to be bound to happen is fucking Soldier Boy rolls up on the twins.
Oh, yeah, then he hears the Russian music again, right?
Yep, yeah, hears that Russian music.
Yeah, so Love Sausage,
yes,
who is a giant Russian, is playing Russian music.
Of course.
And he just fucking disassociates.
Yep.
And I love the TNT twins just trying, we have to try it one more time.
And it was just like,
and it's like,
yeah,
like a bad firework, just like right, and then just an explosion.
Yep,
gone. Meanwhile, Huey and Starlight's just like seeing the smoke, and he's like, she's like putting on fucking clothes.
Yeah.
That they haven't spare, because you gotta have spare clothes in the car because Huey's power is shit.
So you gotta give like, like MM has like all the rap T-shirts. They give Huey all like the white boy music, like Neil Young and fucking Steely Dan shit.
CCR.
Yeah. He is. I remember when he is wearing a Steely Dan t-shirt.
Yeah.
But he's wearing a fucking what was it? He was wearing, it was like a Leonard Skinner shirt or some shit.
Right.
Almond Brothers. It was Almond.
It's Almond Brothers. Yeah.
Almond. Anyway, they run back to the place. It is annihilated. Love Sausage.
Horse just screaming, covered in
Love
blood.
Sausage is running out. He's got a burnt dick.
Again.
Nighthawk is running out. Meets A-Train. He's like, man, we got to help these fucking people. Man,
He's like,
fuck
no.
that. And right before that happens, I remember seeing the midget.
Tiny
Tiny man. He's like, oh my god, there's so much blood. Homelander
crush him.
Yep.
And that's what did it. That's what killed him.
Yeah.
Not a bag full of cocaine. Not the boys. Homelander killed him in a secondary act.
Yeah.
But what we get here is Nighthawk and A-Train. And
A-Train's like, you know what? No.
Fuck it.
Fuck you.
Fuck it. And
fucking grabs him by the leg. Like he knocks him out.
Takes him for a ride.
Yeah. He fucking busts him up, grabs his legs, and just starts running. And as soon as you see him start running, for a while you kind of forget that A-Train isn't supposed to run because he never really mentions it in this season. They intentionally don't mention his heart attack in this season up to that point.
Yeah.
As soon as he starts running, then it clicks with you. You're like, oh shit, he's not supposed to be running. Oh fuck, he is just dragging this motherfucker.
So if the Flash was dangerous, it would be this fucking brutal.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
that's kind of the crux of having a speedster in the fucking movie. It kind of ruins the movie because they can basically stop time and kill you and then go back to playing their video game.
yeah. So it eventually stops, and what's just left is a little nub, a chicken nugget.
Viscera.
Yeah.
And
and then he passes out because he has that fucking heart
and they
attack.
do the beat. They're doing the beat of it. Like, doom, 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 doom. And it's like, God damn. It's like, that's how he died. Because I thought he died. Like I thought they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Like,
I did too.
that would have been a fitting end. His last act was kill this motherfucker.
So building that heart attack narrative up too.
Yeah. And then we get the fight.
Because I was also sitting here wondering, I was like, well, he left a oil smear behind him.
Yeah.
Like, they got to get a quick cleanup on that if they're going to, you know.
It's Disney. Or Amazon or whoever.
But no, the fight at the end was...
Yeah, so the explosions happened. Butcher's down. MM is down, and he gets up and he starts picking MM up. And Soldier Boy shows up, and he's like, "What the fuck happened?" Because he has no idea what happened, which I think is kind of fucked up because he's not understanding that he's basically a giant bomb.
This,
And then he shows up. Homelander shows up.
Yep.
And as soon as he sees Butcher, he lasers that motherfucker to the ground. And we don't see like any viscera or blood, and he doesn't notice it. And I think that's a pretty cool scene, just because I think Homelander doesn't notice blood. I think he's blind to it. That's why he just dismissed Butcher when he shot him down.
Yeah.
I think he's like, all right, I killed Butcher. The end.
Right.
Who's this fucker? I can kill him. I'm the greatest fucking superhero alive.
Yeah.
And then it's a knockdown drag out between those two fucks. And we see Butcher get back up, which is fine, because he's superpowered. But I think that was kind of like the surprise attack on Homelander.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then he pops Homelander, and he's like, "The fuck is that?" Yeah, because I remember we got two of them in that episode.
He straight up ignores Soldier Boy for a minute because he knocks him into a wall.
Yeah.
And they start fighting. And I love how Homelander goes up in the air. He's flying. And then I'm like, no, capes. And then it's like, wham! He blasts down by his cape. And that's why you don't wear capes.
And that was also the moment where he was like, "We agreed, you and me, to the end."
Like,
deals off. And I was just like, "Oh shit!"
And it's kind of an equal bout almost, because Soldier Boy's doing what he can.
It's just a mirror image of Homelander in a lot of ways.
And it comes down to Soldier Boy's basically the one doing it because he's a lot more experienced. But they get the motherfucker down on his stomach with his head down.
Him and Huey too.
Huey shows up and grabs it, and this is another thing where they're trying to redeem him a little bit. Butcher's like, "You need to get the fuck out of here." He's like, "No, I can't.
Yeah,
I gotta stay. I'm staying
till
the
the
end."
Fuck you. I'm staying.
Fuck you till I'm in. And
I just deserted my girlfriend.
Yeah, Soldier Boy is
charging up.
Soldier Boy's charging up. Butcher's holding, and they're thinking this is going to be it. But we're all going to die. Yeah, and then Homelander's like, "Fuck this!" and takes off.
Yeah, he runs away. That's another moment too, where it's like, "Oh shit, Homelander ran the fuck away."
Yes, and that's the first time we've ever seen that because I like when he gets punched in the mouth and he kind of touches his mouth a little bit. And like, there's like just a drop of blood, and I kept thinking of that scene from Dodgeball.
Oh yeah, no one makes me bleed my own blood.
How dare you make me bleed my own blood? And,
So they could have pulled the Avengers scene, but like all of that effort for a drop of blood.
Yeah.
No, it was the opposite. Oh shit, I'm bleeding.
No, fuck, I'm bleeding. And so
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, so they take off, or he takes off, and Soldier Boy and Butcher are like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
And Annie's just like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, so Annie, so it's Huey and Butcher and Soldier Boy take off together, which is kind of fucked up because we don't even get any closing statements from Starlight and him. Anyway, Starlight shows up back and with MM, and he's like, hey, we got to help these people. We got to patch some of these motherfuckers up. So he's doing triage for a lot of people. He's getting them bandaged up. We find out 7 superheroes died and 7 people died. So 14 people died. And this is kind of what I like about the new era is we can present evidence in the clear. And
immediately.
Yeah, so he's holding this comically large phone.
Yeah. And he's like, here, get on my Instagram or get on my
Is that what that was?
Instagram Live,
Vostagram.
Is that what it was? Instagram?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's whatever the mirror for Instagram is.
I have no idea what Instagram looks like.
Yeah, no. So they eventually get on their version of Instagram Live, and she's like, "Look, this happened because of Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy is real. Like, don't listen to Vought. Don't listen to Homelander. This shit is real. I am Annie. I am Starlight. Listen to me." And then the very next episode, liar.
Yeah. So
we roll into episode 7,
It
which
becomes
is
a thing where like now it's a culture commentary thing where like nobody wants to believe what they see anymore.
Yeah. Well, he does that model. So he goes back to Vought Enterprises. Homelander is talking to himself in the mirror. And this is what,
hey, big boy, how's it going?
And then he's like, you need to sack the fuck up.
Or basically makes him call himself out like you do this for love and shit like that.
Yeah.
And see, and that's also what makes me feel like they're kind of moving it to where it's an odd thing of if Butcher had permanent V, he would actually be worse than Homelander because Butcher is just all revenge. Homelander is even talking to himself, being like, you're a pussy because you want this for love.
It's like a malcontent kind of thing, too, with Homelander.
It's almost a Darth Vader thing.
Yeah.
If you really think about
or an
it.
Anakin thing.
It's kind of weird in that department. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a interesting way that they're at least playing his character, is that they're really making his horrible motivations all for quote unquote love.
It doesn't make it sympathetic though. It's like
it doesn't make it sympathetic, but it at least gives a reason for the madness and kind of shows how other characters that you see on the good side could still be worse,
kind of
though.
Humanizes them a little bit.
Yeah. But episode 7 has a lot more of Black Noir, which I was really happy with. And the mixed media with the cartoons, because that was like an old pizza shack he went to as a kid or something.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like his safe haven.
Well, his brain got split in half, so I imagine that's all he fucking talks to is cartoon characters.
Yeah.
So, he goes back to like a Charles E. Cheese place.
But I thought that was kind of interesting how that was kind of like his little safe haven, was a place that he went to as a kid.
And if you notice, like when he got in there, he was setting up food for them.
Yeah.
That's how real they are to him. And they're basically a motivational force. You know, they're just like, hey man, how's it going?
You're in
A little Porky Pig, little beaver, whatever.
Yeah. And I love we get what really happened in Nicaragua in cartoon form.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody's like a cartoon animal version of themselves.
Yeah, so Soldier Boy's like an eagle.
like classic Looney Tunes style
almost. Yeah. But we find out that Noir kind of got fucked over by Soldier Boy, and then Soldier Boy starts beating his ass. And mercilessly. And then they go to Nicaragua, and we see Cartoon Edgar, Stan Edgar.
Yeah.
Voiced by Giovanni Esposito. And I love that because it's still scary.
Right.
He's still kind of scary.
Just that calm, direct tone.
So it's like, imagine a cartoon version of Breaking Bad would be fucking awesome.
Because it's pretty much the same character.
I think that would just be fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, it would.
And so they make a back alley deal, and they all gang up on Soldier Boy. They all, and then
take him
Soldier
down.
Boy starts whooping everyone's ass.
Yeah.
And then you find out that Crimson Countess is the one that did it at the end. So we find out that Black Noir is permanently fucked up because of Soldier Boy.
Yep.
Because he broke his skull and put his face next to a burning car and burnt his face off.
Yeah.
And they hit him with this gas, knocks him out, wrap him up, gone. And that kind of it very matches up well with what we saw in the flashback scene of the real life action. Because she was walking around and saw these heroes all busted up, and you're like, how did they get busted up against some soldiers? And it's like, you guys were killing them for the longest time. Like, who walked up on you? And because I remember the flashback scene was the TNT twins are holding each other crying.
Yeah.
And then Black Noir, he's got his mask off, he's fucked. And
Yeah.
like you see the other ones holding their heads and shit, and Crimson Countess is like fucking freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty good in cartoon form.
I was going to say,
And
whose
also-
idea was that?
And also a pretty interesting character choice too. If you notice, Black Noir's character was played by a Black Sheep.
Yes.
So it's kind of interesting that's how he sees himself to a point, as kind of the Black Sheep, kind of the quiet one, the outsider, the loner of it all.
And I like how Homelander, he's talking to the Deep, and he's like, where the fuck's Black Noir? And the Deep's like, he took out his transponder and left.
It's like, no,
that's my buddy. That's my brother. He
wouldn't do that.
And I was like, yes, he did it.
it's like
He's off the grid, motherfucker.
They heard about
Not
fucking
Nicaragua.
and just took the fuck off.
then you see A-Train waking up in a hospital with Ashley next to him, and she's like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" He goes, "What happened?" She goes, "Well, you."
In your attempts to save people during Herogasm.
Unfortunately, Black Hawk did die during the explosion, and you tried everything you could to save him.
Yeah, you remember that, don't
So
you?
you remember all of this, right? And out of the goodness of his heart and toward you, he, donated his. You have his heart. Oh my God.
That's a career politician right there.
That moment is... the actor that plays A-Train, he is amazing with his small little reactions, because the moment he realized he had, for all intents and purposes, a fucking neo-Nazi's heart in his chest.
Yeah.
It's like, oof. Damn. Like, you saw the look on his face of like, oh my fucking God.
And he's just kind of like, thank you.
He doesn't even really have a thank you on his face. He just has a "what did you do to me" kind of expression. And it's just, that scene like sunk me. I was like, ouch.
And she does that part super well too. The one that plays Ashley.
And like the C plot of the story was pretty cool, because it's Frenchie and MM hanging out, and they're trying to figure out what put Soldier Boy down, because MM's like, dude, this dude huffed fucking sleeping gas like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out.
Smoked it like a doobie.
Yeah, that it cannot figure it out. Meanwhile, Butcher, Huey, and Soldier Boy are going after what is his name? Mindstorm. Mindstorm. And I like how he describes Mindstorm. He's like, don't let that motherfucker look you in the eye.
Yeah. And that's it.
Don't let that crazy motherfucker look you in the eye, because he's smoking a joint the whole time. And I just love the, what did you say?
So maybe you should put the weed down, sir.
But like, we didn't say nothing, bud. And it's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he does it to Huey, and it's a little bit more threatening.
Right.
And then he gets into Huey's face. I'm just like, oh, he smoked so much weed, now he's paranoid.
Yeah.
Because Butcher's got that good shit.
Right.
that soup grade shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's nothing.
The shit that killed Elvis.
But come to find out, he really wasn't bluffing. Don't look this motherfucker in the eye, because this guy can give fucking Wanda Maximoff a run for her money.
Soldier Boy hits a tripwire, and I just love his first, like, fuck. And boom. And they go flying, which they're okay, because they're superpowered.
Yeah.
They take some V before they're going.
Of course.
And the guy looks Butcher straight in the eyes. He's like, fuck. And he like closes his eyes. And oh god damn it! And then he's in his
dropped.
He's dropped. He's in his past. Yep. And dude, Mindstorm takes off. They get back together, and I love Soldier Boy's like, he's dead.
Yeah, just like not leave him behind.
And he's like, no, he's got to wake up. He's like, fuck you, he's dead. Let's go.
He's like, what happened? He's trapped in his fucking brain until he dehydrates.
Yeah.
And
this was another attempt at trying to make Butcher more redeemable, but at the same time, it didn't really make him feel more redeemable. It just more or less gave reason.
Okay,
It's like, you just like, but yeah, he still did that shit.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't make him a better character. It's just more or less it's like, oh, that's why you're such a shitty character now, because you did all the other shitty things when you were younger.
It's all the stuff they talked about in live form. That's all. And he's trapped in his brain trying to deal with it. And I like Huey trying to reason with Soldier Boy a little bit, which you can't do. The dude's a fucking psycho. He's like, could he undo it? He's like, it's too fucking late, man.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. We got something to do. He's dead.
Yeah.
Fuck him. He's like, don't worry. I'll kill fucking Homelander. I don't care. But it's like, look, we got to keep going.
Yeah.
And
I'll still do the thing.
Yeah, I'll still do the thing. Fuck. And
So that's not my priority right now.
So they're going. He's like, it's 2 miles away. Blah blah blah. So they're going toward his compound or whatever, his barn.
Yeah.
Right.
And while this is going, Starlight shows up to talk to Kimiko. Mm-hmm. And I like their little conversation because she's like, look, Kimiko's version of it is basically, I hated my powers, but now I realize I need them.
Yeah.
Period. Because I can't protect people if I can't.
And I feel like that was a really good arc for her, which was kind of realizing that the powers didn't make her bad. It's what she does with the powers, which is kind of breaking the idea of, which we've seen so far, all superheroes, maybe minus Starlight, aren't that good. Mm-hmm. And even given the chance, even like Huey and Butcher, they kind of turn not so good. So it's like, it feels like Kimiko might be the first right next to Starlight to truly start using their powers for good.
But Starlight says that thing to Huey too, where she's just like, I thought the V made you an asshole, but you were always one, and this just enhances it.
Exactly. So it is pretty interesting on that front.
Same with Kimiko. She's just a good person, but she just happens to have this thing that she hates.
And we also get a conversation of Homelander talking to Newman after a rally that kind of went shady.
A certain way.
Because he basically said that Starlight is a human trafficker.
He Alex Jones his way out of that.
Folks, human trafficker.
And they buy it, Uncle Line and say,
they're like, oh wow, we didn't know.
Oh yeah, they just play on the conspiracy.
She's just trying to distract you from the real thing she's doing.
Yeah, and then I remember the news part of it was Ashley's on the news speaking to that, basically the Tucker Carlson.
Pretty much.
And he's just like, is that considered treason? And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Like,
no, it's not,
sure, why not?
You
saw it.
Bitch.
So she's still getting a whole bunch of shit on that. And then flipping back over to Butcher, Huey, and Mindstorm. Huey eventually does convince Mindstorm to free Butcher after Butcher goes through his whole trials and tribulations.
After he transported him naked 2 miles away from his house.
Yes.
He's like, look, man, I'll give you some fucking clothes, whatever. I just need you to fucking fix my friend. He's like, your friend's a fucking asshole. I saw his brain.
I know, I love that bit. He's like, you want to save him? I saw what he did. He's not a good guy.
He's a bad person.
He sucks. He's like, what the fuck? But like, as soon as he frees him, fucking Soldier Boy shows up anyway and fucking kills him.
So he wakes up Butcher, and he just looks at Huey like his brother, like his younger brother.
Yeah.
And it just freaks him the fuck out.
Right.
But going into it though, that's where Annie finds that compound V, but she also finds the green stuff too.
Yeah.
And she's reading all the notes and shit about it, and she realizes that if you take more than 3-4 doses, you're done.
Yeah, you're gonna die. It's
so
basically
far,
cancerous.
And so far, Butcher's had one more dose than Huey has.
Yeah. And I was trying to count mentally, like, how many times did they fucking shoot this shit up?
Yeah, I know, they do it like
about
at least
3.
Yeah, or like, I felt like they did like 5 times an episode.
Yeah. But because it does last 24 hours, so it kind of gives, because this is all in the span of like a week and a half.
Right.
But she finds out it kills users very quickly by destroying their fucking brain.
But then like, she tells Butcher that, and Butcher's like, it's like, you should go tell Huey.
And right as he's about to, and you think he's going to have the flip turn, because he's always seen Huey as kind of like his brother that he did wrong.
Well, before she calls him, she's trying to get out of Vault.
Yeah.
And that's when Homelander shows up. And he's like, hey, we're going to talk about this. I told you what would happen, blah, blah, blah. This. I'm evil. And then her phone was on the whole time. And he tries to play it off. And it's just like, and then it's live
stream.
Like,
you need to not be recording me when we're running lines.
And it's like, and she kind of moonwalks back into that fucking elevator, and she gives her the finger. But then,
but yeah, so
she gets the compound V and gives it to Frenchie, and they do that weird that weird scene where they eject people with V and their spine kind of cracks.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool, but it's still disgusting.
It is.
And she does confront Butcher over the phone about it. She's like, "Look, your brain's going to be destroyed," and like you said,
tell Huey.
Yeah, you think he's going to tell him?
Yeah, it's because he had his little redemption thing. He kind of reprocessed and went back through everything with his brother, and you think right as he's about to tell him, he's like, "Nah, we're gonna take some more V and we're gonna fuck some shit up."
And then it comes
and
back
then
to
you're
that
just like,
shit heel thing at the
"God
end.
damn it!"
Yeah, and he just doesn't do it.
No.
And the kind of crescendo on this episode, second to the last episode, was Soldier Boy fucking calls Homelander.
Yeah.
And says, "I'm your daddy."
Yeah, yeah. But I like how Homelander just he clicks it and he's like, "Soldier Boy,
Is that really you?
is it really you?" He's like, "Hey, Homelander." He's like, "Hey." It's just that weird because how else would superheroes just talk to each other? They're like, yeah, hey, what's
One
up?
of the things that kind of glossed over is when Newman was talking to Homelander, she hands him a piece of paper and it's the address of where Ryan is, and that's what it was. I was thinking it's going to be the address of where the boys were going to be,
Yeah.
but it's actually the address of where Ryan is.
Yeah.
Right.
And that winds up playing a big part into this very last episode, which is why I say I felt like there was kind of spinning wheels a little. Because again, some great shit, some amazing.
So much happens too.
So much happens in the season, but it feels like we're right back to where we were at the beginning of the season by the end of it. And that's what I mean by it. Not that this was a bad season at all. It just kind of felt inconsequential to the overall story. Yeah.
I think the storytelling aspect of it is just a reflection of human behavior, and especially in our current state.
Yeah, I love the opener for this one because Maeve. You finally realize Maeve has been involved the whole time.
Yeah.
She's been in a cell, but she's talking to Homelander, and she looks at his face. She's like, "Are you wearing fucking makeup?"
Yeah. I know.
And he's like, "Fuck you," and just turns around and
she's
walks
like,
away.
Oh,
and she's like, "This is the greatest day or the third greatest day of my life."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You have a bruise on your face. Someone beat your ass," which I thought was fucking hilarious. The good win,
Yeah.
just scarring him a little bit was perfect.
But then Homelander finds and convinces Ryan to return back to him, which was a very tense and
Yeah, they get they kind of do the thing where Butcher has to leave Ryan behind because he can't protect him, but he knows the right move is to leave him. And in that, Homelander swoops in and tells him, "I'll never leave."
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you got a vibe about that, but I thought Homelander was going to kill the CIA lady.
I thought
did
so
too.
too.
I thought he
She's
was
like,
gonna-
I hear your greasy little fingers on that phone. Take it out now. And then it was an interesting little thing too, where Ryan was like, "But I thought you were mad at me for killing Becca," and he was like, "You thought I was mad at you?" Just completely flips it around for that manipulative factor. He's
Yeah.
like, "No, you need to
brainwashes him
understand,
right
like
there.
when we're as powerful as you and I are, accidents happen, and that was just an accident, and I'm your father, and I'm always going to love you. I would never be mad at you for an accident." And then boom, right there, you're like, "Oh fuck!"
And now Ryan's gone with the big bad, so there's no saving him now.
And so Butcher and Homelander, Soldier Boy, head back to New York to do the final fight. But Homelander basically knocks Huey the fuck out.
Yeah.
And leaves him in a bathroom.
And the thing is like, that tries to be his redeeming moment because he looks right at him. He's like, "You really are a spitting image of my brother." Whack! But it's like, again, it's like, but what are you doing? It's like, even Huey's like, "Oh, he didn't fuck me over. He saved my life." Well, not really. I don't know.
It was like
Bad characters are bad characters, but they're still good.
Well, it just shows where it's like it's the guilt. That's what's driving him to like save Huey. It's like just the guilt of not saving his brother.
Yeah. And Annie does the whole thing where she's like, Maeve's captured by Vought. She's like telling everybody in the world, she's like, "Look, they have her. They're not letting her go. It's a rehab is a lie, blah, blah." And it causes a giant fucking commotion where people are like, "Dude, put out a search warrant. Let's fucking search this place and let's find her." And I love Ashley, the Deep's first thought is, "Let's just move her."
Yeah.
You dumb bitch.
Yeah, she immediately breaks the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
And so she winds up meeting up with the rest of them.
There's a lot in this episode too.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I'm trying to go through and actually read it properly. Yeah, she escapes the custody and meets up with Huey, Annie, and MM, while Homelander kills Black Noir for withholding the information of him being Soldier Boy's son.
Yeah,
and this was the question I asked Chris. I was like, do you think Black Noir is actually dead? Because you've seen this guy take so much of a beating, and we've also seen so many of these superheroes. I mean, hell, Stormfront turned into a nugget, and she was still survived. Do you think fucking Black Noir is gone just from a gut check?
He's kind of a Deadpool-ish kind of like, slapstick character too.
Because here's the thing. We never saw what Homelander pulled out. I was expecting that scene. Because you visibly see him holding something in his hand for a second, and then he just kind of walks away. If he was holding something like his heart or something like that, then I'm like, oh, yep, motherfucker gone.
But then you got that moment where like the little cartoon beaver comes up, it's like, you're about to go join the kingdom of heaven with Jesus.
No, he's like, you're ready to go join the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. Thanks, Chick Muck Christ.
Right.
But it's hard.
Well, that's probably what Noir was thinking.
Well, it's hard to say because after that scene, he calls Ashley, the Deep, and A-Train into the room, and they're like, "Hey, where's Black Noir?" And he puts his helmet on the table, and I'm thinking that was that was the closing arc for him. And it's hard to say. Like it is hard to say because he
or it could be Homelander manipulating the rest of the seven.
It could, but they're all just sacks of shit. He doesn't really need that much pull.
No, he tells them too. He's like, I don't need any of you.
I fucking hated you. That's what his exact words were. I fucking hate you people.
Oh yeah, he's like, fuck you, Deep. Fuck you, and Ashley, take that fucking wig off.
Oh, and we see the how bad her stress is.
And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. And he tells Deep to go run a mission that we'll talk about later.
Yep.
But A-Train kind of gets left out. Like we don't really know what the fuck A-Train's doing.
Yeah.
Because I figured he was going to do the other part of Deep's mission. But I imagine it's a quick little...
No, we really don't see him much the rest of
It's probably a deleted scene where it's just like, hey, man, you need physical therapy before you can go run again and get this heart tested. You know?
That's kind of the end.
Yeah, because he visits his brother and begs him to join him
and
back.
His brother tells him to go fuck himself.
Yeah. that was basically the end of A-Train's arc.
And I like the fact that Andy goes pick up Huey at the gas station.
He's like, thanks for showing up.
Do they all own badass cars? Did you ever catch that? Like, every one of them owns, like, a classic fucking vehicle.
I mean, Amazon, spare no expense. Get all these nice cars on the fucking set.
But, like, Andy, MM, they all have fucking old Chargers, Novas, and shit.
And at that point, Butcher and Soldier Boy meet up with the boys. Annie and... and with Annie to all kill Homelander. Homelander begs Soldier Boy to accept him because he basically shows up and he's like, look, I want a family. And he's like, look, this is your grandson. And at that point, Butcher's like, fuck.
Here's where I have the problem with the last episode. This is my only thing.
You're only great.
They need a nerve agent to knock him the fuck out. Frenchie gets it. He pulls some strings and gets it in a cologne bottle.
Yeah.
And okay, that part's totally good. I get that. They're all a bunch of thugs.
Keep it a little hidden.
Yeah, they're thugs. They're monsters. Blah blah blah. And with that being said, he said he's got it in this cologne bottle, and they do a cut to where they're holding it, and they're trying to make a plan. And like Maeve is constantly looking at that, and that's not what she wants. She doesn't want to take down Soldier Boy. She wants to take down Homelander.
Yeah, she's on a mission.
But because of what they know about Homelander and Soldier Boy, they can't go down that path anymore. It's not going to work. So they got to kill both of them somehow. They get to the top of the tower, last level, boss level, blah, blah, blah. She smacks that shit out of his hand, and it goes flying.
Yeah.
Right? It's on the other side of town. Forget the fact that it is a biological nerve agent that can drop a city, because that's what they said. It is a biological
You're like,
weapon.
I'm going by their rules, their universe.
They just killed an entire fucking town. Like if you think about, like, they talk about it, it's like, oh yeah, this is a nerve agent. It's like VX gas,
right?
And they're like, we just chucked it out the window. Like, whatever happens. I'm just like,
pretty much.
What the fuck is your problem? And then I just love the fact that Kimiko and Frenchie are like, we got to go to a lab and redo this because Maeve kind of
fucked it up.
Killed 100,000 people with a fucking sling. She probably did. Like,
Yeah.
I hope they bring that up in the next season just as a joke. Like, oh yeah, and Vought poisoned a bunch of people on the other side of town while this is going on.
And but yeah, all the while that's happening, it's interesting because like Homelander's trying to beg him. He's like, I just wanted a family. Here's your grandson. Here's all this other stuff. And Soldier Boy just walks up to him. He goes, I really wish I could have been there to raise you. He goes, hey, I do too. But hey, what all that matters now is what we have a family now. He's like, yeah, because if I had raised you, you would have been better.
You would have been such a pussy.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been a pussy. You would have actually not been a disappointment. And it's just like, God damn it. And then all of a sudden you see Ryan take the shot.
That's when he goes like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah, he backhands him. And that's when Butcher makes the turn. He was with Soldier Boy. Now he's not.
And that scene where both
it's just
Butcher...
the one thing where everybody has their roles reversed.
Yes, I love that one scene though where both Butcher and Homelander both use their I-beams against Soldier Boy, and they look at each other for that split second of like...
The fuck?
Well, no, not even that. They thank each other, but also say "fuck you" at the same time, all in one glance.
Oh, because it's like after this, it's just us two.
Yeah,
That's
it's like they
situation.
looked at each other like, we're unfortunately teaming up, but we're taking care of someone we both don't like right now. So just that little moment of just like, thank you, but fuck you.
That's
It
weird.
was great.
And that one little action, Butcher just switches sides and just has to team up and take down fucking
And it kind of
Soulja
goes
Boy.
into a split fight because Maeve
Shows up.
Yeah, Maeve knocks down Soldier Boy before he can get a blast off, and then it's Soldier Boy versus Butcher and Starlight and MM. And then it's Homelander versus Maeve.
Yeah.
Which was a cool knockdown, drag out fight.
Yeah,
because-
fucking popped his fucking thumb in her eye.
Oh yeah, because that's all he had. Because
Yeah.
you can't do anything else to her because he tries to hit her the same way. She's unaffected. She's not much different from Stormfront. She just can't fly.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's basically indestructible. Both are. They both are, which is kind of fucking hilarious of them just trying to beat each other to death.
Yeah, but then after all that, she takes out Soldier Boy at the very end.
Yeah. So
he's getting all charged up because Huey winds up turning on all the lights for Starlight, and she gets her really big boom and
she
sends
ramps
him
up.
to another room. Maeve comes running on in. She's beating on him for a second, but as soon as Soldier Boy kind of has the upper hand, is about to fucking
he's gonna
blast
kill them all.
them. Yeah, he had them all in a corner. Fucking Maeve runs over, tackles his ass, knocks him out of the building, and kind of suicide bombs with him.
Yeah.
And you kind of assume
yeah, she's dead.
that's it. And you kind of don't think about what happens to Soldier Boy, even though you know he can explode and still survive. But you kind of feel like that was kind of the ending for both because you've never seen him explode with fire. You've always seen a flash of light. He's almost like a flashbang, and the use of the power creates the fire and the destruction.
Right.
When they fell out of the tower and was falling, and when that explosion happened, you saw fire. So that almost felt like it was going to be his biggest charge up yet, and like the way she was kind of like, maybe with her superpowers and being so strong, kind of contracted it in, made it more inward, and that's why it was a bigger explosion. Kind of assume, oh shit, they both died.
Right.
Spoiler alert: neither one of them are dead.
No, you see her pop up with her girlfriend in like one of the post fight scenes. Yeah.
But like it kind of like even like what's left of the boys, Homelander, and all, they all go separate. Their separate ways.
Yeah.
And I thought that was probably the best.
And Soldier Boy gets thrown back into his Winter Soldier cryo.
So our
container.
King of the Hill wrap up.
Yeah, right.
So Soldier Boy is put back to sleep.
Yep.
Maeve lived. She's depowered and has one eye.
Living out with her girlfriend, they're like somewhere on a farm.
Yeah, whatever.
Where because they're like, we got to get out of the city.
Well, you find out
with Homelander and his super hearing.
Well, you find out like Maeve wanted to be a farmer in high school,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny.
Like FFA or some
Yeah,
shit.
she's 4-H.
But imagine
4-H.
that too. Your greatest enemy has super hearing like Superman. You've got to get out of the fucking city before he hears you breathe.
Yeah, I think
That's so fucked up.
Well, I think like their dynamic is she's not worth it anymore now because she won't have a challenge for him. What he's gonna do?
But Homelander doesn't want any loose ends.
Does he though?
That's
He
a
leaves a
loose
lot.
end.
He leaves a lot every fucking time though.
Maeve is a big loose end. She's still got that footage of him on the train on the plane.
This is what plays into the last bit.
Yep.
So even with that, Soldier.
Well, but he doesn't know that yet.
But he knows it exists and he knows him and Annie have it. But he doesn't care because it's a one-way choice.
Yeah.
You know, You play that, I'll be the worst fucking thing you've ever seen.
Yep.
Period. But this is what I like about the end of the episode.
Well, actually, first you find out. Very first, you see the presidential campaign guy kind of chilling in his pool.
The VP.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deep pops up.
Drowns him.
Drowns
and that
him.
happens. So that's what the crux of the comics is, right to the end. In the comics, Homelander and Black Noir turns out to be a clone. Blah 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 blah. And Homelander killed the president, and that's what they're setting up. They're setting up for the whole death of the
So
president.
now Victoria
Okay.
Newman basically has no competition leading into the race where she's going to be vice president.
She's the VP nom.
Yeah.
Robert Singer is still running for president.
Right.
And so with the push for Homelander, he'll probably win. But that was the cool part about it. A little bit more villainous about it. It's really,
Yeah,
control from
the
inside.
Butcher was like, all right, that cunt's on our list
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
and
And the very last part is a rally.
This is what I like about Homelander. This is what I like about him. He's able to control the narrative. And we kind of glossed over the fact that MM punched out his daughter's stepdad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the sake of
yeah.
'Cause he was
but
gonna go
but
to
it
a
comes
rally.
back because we see him again.
Yeah.
And there's a giant rally outside of Vault. It's a few days later. Everybody's mourning Maeve, blah, 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 blah. And this dude throws a can at him because he introduces his son. Hey,
Yeah.
guys,
I've got something big to show you. This is my son.
And if you think about it, how fucking insane that would be.
Right.
This superpowered man shares something with you in a group context that no one else knows. So that kind of makes you part of that moment. And so it ramps them up in a fucked up way. And
Lots
he
of parallels.
He kills a guy. Lasers in front of a group of people, something that he fantasized about doing early on without remorse. And he does
And he
it.
had that bit of fear in his face. He's like, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh
But
shit.
old girl stepdad's like, fuck yeah, fuck
Fuck
that.
yeah. Fuck him.
And that was the turn.
Yep,
Because
and
now he
everyone started
realizes.
cheering.
No, now he realizes I got the people.
I've got the public.
And it's not even a majority of people, it's a group of people, a certain group of people. And if I get their backing, they'll do violence on my behalf. They will not give a fuck about all the terrible shit I have done. They could show that plane blowing the fuck up. I could kill a baby, no one fucking stop me. And what does that sound like?
And I
Yeah.
could, we could do,
I could kill someone right now in front of all of you, and you would still love me.
and we can do like a whole
like-
whole hours podcast on how this is like parallel to like real life.
But that's why I think all those loose ends are nothing
Yeah,
to him.
maybe.
That's why
And now
from
the
top
boy.
from top to bottom, he's in control.
And now the boy.
And that's
is
what-
even learning about
He
it.
smiled.
Yep.
Because he's like, oh fuck, I can do whatever the fuck I wanted to.
and that's why I'm still
That's basically the Homelander fucking thing on the cape. I can do whatever I want. Like
that's why I'm excited about next season too, because it leaves on that note where it's like I'm still upset with this fucking shitheel.
And going into that, the worst things that could happen. Newman becomes president, kills the president.
That's just one thing.
Well,
I know. I was like, is that it?
no, there's three things I think could happen in the next season that I think they probably would never do.
You want
It-
to save it for your final thought?
Yeah. fucking-
That's what I was going to say. That's basically a really good place to end on this one. It's been a solid two-parter on this series. And
There's a lot to unpack on that one.
we're going to have to script out our Stranger Things Season 4 episodes so that doesn't turn into a four-parter.
It's a mini series.
Yeah, really.
Mini-series.
Stranger Things episode 4 or episode 1,
Point
episode
five.
4, episode 2, episode 3.
Yeah, we're just going to have to do an episode on each episode.
Yeah.
But no, I can't wait for season 4. I think it's going to be good. I don't know what's going to become, but I'm going to lean toward on Chris on that one. As I say, thank you for listening to the Couch Potatoes. I've been Alex.
This is Cap.
And Chris, what are your final thoughts on this epic show?
So the things I want to see
Yes.
going on. Newman becomes president. Butcher accidentally kills Ryan.
Oh.
You tell me that wouldn't be a fuck you moment.
I mean, that kind of like, plays into everything you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And it's a last knockdown drag out between Butcher and Homelander. Frenchie, MM die.
Yeah, one of them's going to get killed.
Yay, yay.